Hi folks, exeter-rider. Thanks for coming along. I hope you've had a really good week. This week I'm going to be doing my first ride video and chat about the surprisingly good SINNIS Akuma 125. Right, so straight off the bat I just sent back the GPX probably about last month or so, and that was a sports bike 125 made by SINNIS. The SINNIS Akuma, which I was just going to do one video and a review of, I decided to do a first ride as well because I'm actually quite enjoying the bike, and I think it's a good piece of competition compared to the Benelli TNT, which it's got similarities to. I would say that it's slightly larger than the TNT. Also we have the Honda Grom as well, which is in a similar league as the SINNIS Akuma. Now there's no right or wrong purchase, you know, would you have a Grom or one of these? Well, swings and roundabouts at the end of the day. I owned a Grom from 2013 and really enjoyed it. You know, simplicity, you know, £22 tax per year to 150 odd miles to the gallon. There's a lot to be said for it in times where fuel prices are getting absolutely bonkers, and yeah, this little bike that I've had for 3 days now has been brilliant to run around on. I think it's a fantastic bike for running errands and just getting from A to B basically. So styling wise, we've got that triple exhaust going out the back there. We have the combined braking again, which actually is working quite nicely on this bike. I quite enjoy using that, purely because it does seem to work quite well, you know, and with ease of riding the bike, whether you just use the rear or just the front or try and combine them, that sorts all of that out for you straight away. On the rear we have the LED lights, which I thought might get a bit lost. Let's turn the indicator on a second. I thought it might get a bit lost, but actually it is quite vibrant there and you can see it quite well. Suzuki derived engine, which they were using back in the 80s/90s. So SINNIS are the kings of making bikes that are simple and where there isn't a lot to go wrong, which is so refreshing in a world where people were making bikes with more and more electronics, and you're paying for a lot more with bikes these days. It hasn't even got ABS. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I don't really like combined braking normally. It works well on this bike, to be fair. And when you're paying, I think it's around £2,500 for this bike, maybe 2.6, something like that. 2.6k. Cracking little bike, you know. Is it going to stand the test of time? Well, I can tell you now, after reviewing a lot of these SINNIS bikes now, that the engines are pretty rock solid, and the gearboxes and the clutches. So I don't really have any issues there. The bolts and the finish on the chrome parts are going to rust at some point if you don't keep it undercover, or if you you know, don't look after it, you know. And the problem is that a lot of these bikes are owned by 17-year-olds and they don't really realise, you know, what it takes to look after a bike, or don't want to. They just don't understand it till it starts rusting, and quite often they'll blame the bike then. When it's not even the bike's fault. They should have put it undercover and not left it out in the rain overnight or whatever. So the finish is more than acceptable for the price you pay. The seat is still a bit dicey. It kind of pushes you towards the tank in a bit of an annoying, uncomfortable manner. Yeah, so overall, I mean, this for me as a second bike would be pretty good actually. It'd be ideal, because I am quite concerned about fuel prices at the moment. I filled up the NC the other day. That was 18 quid, and then it cost me 26 quid to fill up the BMW, which, bearing in mind, prices are around 187 for unleaded at the moment, so prices are getting really silly. Ugh. Let's pull her off. Yeah, so a little 125 is gonna, well, it's getting to the point where it's going to pay for itself. Yeah, I'm really liking this bike, and that's why I am going to make a couple videos on it as opposed to just the one video. So look out for that. Let's do a quick Yui here. Nice day to be out on the bike. Yeah, so the seat is a tad uncomfortable. In a sort of within an hour, it's quite uncomfortable. So that's something to bear in mind now. It's a bit frustrating really, because the rest of the bike is really nicely set up. The handlebars are quite wide as well. That's one thing that you'd notice straight away. It is a mini bike, but it doesn't. It's almost like it isn't made to feel like a mini bike, like what you get with the Honda Monkey or the Grom. You know, they do literally feel like mini bikes. Whereas this, actually sat where I am now, it still feels like a normal size 125, which is a good thing for most people. It's got a 5-speed box as well, which is, I mean, obviously it is a new bike, but it does seem to be very tight, and it's not sloppy at all. Works quite nicely. It's a joy to sort of spin around the city because it is so light and nimble. Now, as with all these good things, obviously there are the things that aren't so good. I mean, dealer network for these bikes are quite difficult to come by, which is frustrating. Because with the SINNIS Terrain 125 and the and this bike here, the SINNIS Akuma, and the GPX, I think they've all got a market, and I think certainly the Akuma and the SINNIS Terrain 125 could sell really well. I know the 125 is doing quite well anyway, but I think they got so much more to offer, but it's just finding where they sell the bikes is kind of half the problem quite often. But they'll get better over time, I hope. And it's just so nice to find a 125 that's under £4,000. I mean, a lot of the 125s are £4,000 now, aren't they? Even the CBF 125 is knocking £4,000, and this is 2.5, so you're saving 1,500 quid. And in many cases, that is the difference between a 17-year-old new rider that needs to get to college, a bit like my son next year. He had a ride on this, and not a ride on it, but you know, sat on it, and he said, "Oh, I like that." But it's the difference between them getting into biking and not getting into biking, just in that £1,500. So yeah, and I'm enjoying it. As a second bike for me, or a third bike, I'd probably use this more than my NC, getting to and from work. The fuel economy is fantastic. I mean, it's so nice to fill up a bike and not have to worry about it running out too soon and having to go back to the petrol pumps again. And it's sort of like you could go out on a pleasure ride on, you know, just through the city like I am now, really, and take in the scenery and enjoy it. And no, it's not costing you any money, or not very much money, should I say? You know what I mean. Whereas if I go out in the NC now, I'm just waiting for the, hang on mate, next time that I'm going to have to fill it up again. So I'm going to leave it there, but as you can tell, I do like the bike a lot. I think it's a really good offering, and yeah, I'll bring you the full review in time, so do like and subscribe if you haven't been here before. That would be really helpful if you could like it, because it does help me so much. Just shoves it up the YouTube ladder a bit more. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the full review on this bike and doing the filming of it. Thanks to SINNIS for lending me the bike, and I'll see you next week on another video. So enjoy the sunshine while you can, guys. Cheers.